Hello people and welcome to the first instalment of Casuals Corner. So quick explanation of what we're doing. We both have a passion for MMA and we love talking about it, so we thought why not create content around MMA. So here we're going to be discussing some of the things that are happening weekly. We're going to give our hot takes on them and we'd love to get you lot involved. So that's exactly what we're doing. I'm joined by my other half of Casuals Corner. Will, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, just as Frank said, we both love chatting, ample amount, and our passion is UFC. So we thought, why not bring the two together? So that is what we're doing. So what we're going to do...
Just got an email from UFC. I literally just got an email from UFC saying the heavyweight headliner. They're listening. They know. Literally, as you were saying, I got an email saying there's a heavyweight headliner this weekend. So what better of a segue than that?
Was basically introducing what I was about to say. So what we're going to go through today in today's video is we're going to have a quick look at last weekend's fights between Curtis Blaydes and Derek Lewis. Then we're going to have a look what's next for them, who their matchups are going to look like in the future. And then we're going to have a look at this Saturday's fight as well, which is Rozenstruik and Gane. I never know if I have to put an accent on that or not.
You do.
You do.
You got to respect the Frenchness. Gone. I don't know.
Gone.
You don't think he looks like Joshua? Like you look at his face and he looks exactly like Joshua.
Physical specimen.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
It's what I think when I see him. I think absolute physical specimen.
This is the thing as well with him, right? Because he came in as a decorated striker, some good submission wins. So this guy's evolving and he's going to be dangerous.
We'll get into I've got it all.
Got it all.
Yeah, I'm going to show off all my stat knowledge later.
Stick to the script.
We'll get into that. Right, go on. Open us from last week. Tell us what happened.
Blaydes Lewis. Do you know what? Yeah, a lot of people are like, Blaydes needs to think about like retiring and stuff. I don't think he does. That shot knocks anyone out, like anyone in the world out. It's like when Askren got kneed by Masvidal. Like you can't really do much about that. Like you got caught, and before that he looked good. But in terms of like Lewis, that is exactly what you want to do with a wrestler, right?
That's what too.
Exactly what you want to do. The idea on paper is, I'm going to run him into a knee or an uppercut. That's all well and good on paper, but as we know, you don't fight on paper. You fight on the canvas. And like he pulled it off. The timing was impeccable. Perfect knockout.
It literally is what he said as well. That's what I was saying to you just before we started the call. On the presser afterwards, he's a character as well. Yeah, I love listening to his press interviews. But on his presser afterwards, he said he was just waiting for it. He knew it was going to come. I think everyone knew it was going to come. The shot was always there. It was just going to be how we set it up and when he took it. But Derek Lewis said he was just sitting on that uppercut and his soul left his body. His soul literally left his body. And like you said,
Derek Lewis.
Sorry, like you said, I was just about to say, if you get hit with that shot, you're going to sleep. That's the beauty or the not so beautiful side of the heavyweight division. So, and we'll come on to it in a minute with Rozenstruik about one of his knockouts. But that's what happens in that division. Like, you can get slept at any given opportunity. That's why sometimes it's like a very slow chess match because you catch one hand and that's it.
It's a different thing. It's a different thing at heavyweight completely. You can't take your eyes off Derek Lewis. He's got some late finishes, which I'm sure you'll get into. But for Lewis as well, like in terms of stylistic matchup, again, on paper, that is probably one of his harder matchups.
100%.
Like maybe Stipe or DC when he was around, but DC's out of the picture now, and he's already beat Lewis. So like on paper, he's knocked out probably his hardest matchup. And like, he's just dangerous. You can't take your eyes off him. And people always talk about Ngannou's power, but Lewis is in that conversation as well. Like when they fought, they were just staring at each other. Like Francis clearly felt something there. He was like, I don't know, I don't want to come in on this guy. Like he's coming back heavy. Yeah. So it's interesting. We need to see that fight again.
Well, that's
Francis versus
Derek Lewis. But that's the thing as well. I think to a lot of people that are less familiar with the sport that would have watched the Ngannou fight, they'll be looking at each other like, why are they not just throwing hands like these two big boys? Like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, because as soon as they take the lead off, that they can be slept as well as the other person. Do you know what I mean? So it is just such a strategy sort of mindset when it comes to those big boys.
There's so much on the line. Like if you're in there with a puncher, like and they're more of a puncher than you, you're not going to play that game because it's just playing into their game. You've got to adapt. And everyone's got power at heavyweight. It's just some more than others. It's just a crazy, crazy division, which is fucking stacked right now. Speaking of how stacked it is, we've got a very good main event tomorrow, actually, which I'm very excited for.
I was just about to say, before we go into that, what do you want to see next from Curtis Blaydes and Derek Lewis? Who would you match them up with? Because at the top of the heavyweight tree, it's an awkward one at the moment for Derek Lewis, because realistically he should be fighting for that title. But John Jones has come in and made it all awkward. So what do you want to see next?
What, for Blaydes?
For Derek Lewis and then for Blaydes. Well, John Jones is coming in to make it awkward. It's not in there yet.
So for Derek Lewis, let me pull up the division quick. Who we got? Who would you say?
Well, he said recently that he knows that it's not going to be the title shot. He spoke about it. He said he's not going to be the title shot. He knows that John Jones is going to come in, and then that fight's there.
Yeah.
He just wants to stay active. He said he just wants to stay active. So the problem with calling it in the heavyweight division at the moment, there's so much chopping and changing, and there's a lot of fights as well. There's a lot of fights going on. Even last weekend there was 2, maybe even 3, but there's a lot of activity at the moment. So I'm not too sure at the moment. What are you thinking? You having a little look at the
yeah, I'm looking at the thing now. So you've got Blaydes currently sat at 3, you've got Rozenstruik at 4, Volkov at 5, Overeem, Gane.
Volkov came off a very impressive win as well. Like, Overeem didn't look very good.
Yeah.
But Volkov looked particularly good, do you know what I mean?
A win over Overeem is still a win.
Exactly.
Like, you can't really take too much away from that. Yeah, for Blaydes, he's going to need some time off. Like, that's probably the most... Even when he got stopped by Ngannou, he was still fighting back, right? He wasn't out. But he'll probably need to take a little step down. Maybe someone like an Ivanov or Tibera, like they're ranked 14, 15, like a decent matchup for him.
So I was actually thinking, I don't know if it's a bit ambitious from his side, but after this weekend's win, I quite wanted to see, after a little while, maybe Tom Aspinall with Curtis Blaydes.
Yeah, I mean, he's even said himself, right? He's got a lot before he gets to the top. He wants to slowly do it. So I think he'll keep taking off fights. Like Arlovsky, is a prime example of like a good fight for him, at the right time, until he breaks into 15 per se. But he could do it. He could. There's another guy that got a stoppage on the card. Curtis Dorcas is his name. Yeah. He looked good. His hands are sharp, but I think match them up, but they kind of missed the opportunity of the call out when they're on the same card.
It's a little bit of a tricky one, isn't it? But you're right, because Tom Aspinall at the end said, like, he's young, isn't he? Like, he's very, very young, and he looks very
heavyweight
good,
as well. For heavyweight, he's like, what is he? Is he 26?
I want to say 5, but
yeah.
So like, I've just got that on the tip of the tongue. But he was moving like a middleweight when I was watching him the other day. He's so fast, like so fast. But it's like what you said. I think he said in his post-fight interview as well that he wants to sort of not crawl to the top, but walk to the top. He says he can see himself in this division for 10 years and he will win it, what he says. Yeah. But he wants to take his time to there. So I think like what you said, I don't think he's going to want to jump to anyone like a Curtis Blaydes. But if it's there, he won't say no to it, I don't think.
That's what I mean. There's so many good matchups down the line to be made. So, like, maybe one day, just probably, like, he is still ranked 3 at the moment. Like, I know he's coming off a knockout loss, but it's just different when you get into that top 5, top 10 even, It's just a different...
I also saw the things about Curtis...
There, no doubt.
I also saw the things about Curtis Blaydes retiring. I didn't really entertain any of that. Like what you said, anyone can get knocked out like that. It's the heavyweight division. That's the beauty of the beast. Do you know what I mean? So I think he's still a very good fighter. Still a lot to offer that division. Do you know what I mean?
No one's taking that. No one in the world is taking that.
Yeah. People see that.
Yeah, like if you're sat on your sofa thinking you can take that, then you are a clown.
People say that. Oh God, he should retire after that. That 230-pound monster has sat all his weight into an uppercut.
A normal that could actually kill. Like, that's no joke.
100%.
Like, he can generate more force in that uppercut than I could with a bat. Do you know what I mean? And I could kill someone with a bat.
100%. People don't realise the level to it. Like, they don't understand.
I can't wait to go to events in real life and just see like heavyweights move around.
Yeah. Just feel that that's what I was saying to my brother the other day, actually, about the we were talking about no crowds in sport, and I was saying, on a whole, although there's nothing like the atmosphere on Saturday, for example, with a crowd would just be
scenes
out of this world. Next Saturday, that is, not the Rozenstruik Cup, but no disrespect, but apart from that, on a more consistent basis, like just watching it week in, week out, like I love it without the crowd sounds, like hearing the corners, hearing the strikes, hearing like the fighters just speak. Like Kevin Holland's the prime example. Like,
he's great. He's great.
Perfect person to have no crowd noise. Like, you can just hear him just waffling. I love that.
It's raw. You can hear the smacking of fucking 4-ounce gloves off people's heads.
It's It's the leg kicks to the body.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's beautiful violence. Right,
let's get into this Saturday then. So, do you want me to rattle off a couple of stats before we get into it?
Go on, let's hear it. I know you've been doing your research.
Even if you said no, I'd be like, right, shut up for a second. I've got some stats to run through.
You'd slip them in there.
Right, so this Saturday, obviously we've got Rozenstruik and Gane. They're quite a similar matchup in terms of all your standard, your reach, your weight, that sort of thing, your height.
Yeah.
However, Gane has a slight reach advantage of a few inches. I quite like him just through his style. I think it's very, very different in heavyweight. You don't see that an awful lot. You don't see the relaxed hands by the waist. You don't see that relaxed guard, a quick head movement. Do you know what I mean? So he's a very exciting fighter. Like, I'm looking forward to this. And like what you said earlier, he's got, let me actually read through this. So he's currently sitting at 7-0. So he's undefeated, which is impressive as it is. But he's come in as a striker. But like what you said, he's got 1 decision, 3 submissions, and 3 TKOs, and he's got a heel hook, an arm triangle, and a guillotine in there as well. So a little array of everything.
In the UFC?
Yeah, in the UFC,
Yeah, that's stats. And Michael Bisping always talks about this as well, right? When you're an undefeated fighter, like, you have that almost air of invincibility, like whether that's like you actually are invincible, which obviously you're not, but you have that sort of, you've not been beat. Like, he's not been beat, and he's coming to this new sport and beating people at the grappling aspect of the sport. So he's going in with that confidence.
And he actually comes from a Muay Thai background, but he's also, weirdly enough, 7-0 undefeated in the AFMT, which is the, I'm going to butcher this, it's the, I'm not going to do the pronunciation, but it's French, obviously. Académie. I'm not going to do the French. I've given up. But basically, the Muay Thai in France, and he's 7-0, and he's already defended a heavyweight title in there. So, he hasn't been beaten in 14 fights.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
He's a very legit fighter. And like what we said earlier, he's a specimen.
He's an athlete.
The only thing I'm thinking is it's a dangerous style to have at heavyweight, to have that very relaxed approach, to have the hands down, to be in and out. It's dangerous.
I agree. But he is a regular, I'm not sure anymore, but he's sparred with Francis a lot. So it's not like he hasn't been in there with what the UFC has to offer in terms of power puncher, albeit sparring and fighting are 2 different things, but there's that experience, and Ganu's at the top. So I don't know how those sparring sessions went, but he knows his level. He knows where he's at.
100%.
He knows where he's at. Like, Ngannou smashed everyone that's not named Stipe Miocic.
Yeah, he's stepping into that. Every time he steps into that octagon, he knows. It's a reassuring thought to think every time you're walking in there, you've not fought, but you've fought the best that division has to offer in the world, pretty much.
A make-believe thing, like, oh my God, am I that level? Like, you know. But saying that, he might got beat up in sparring. You just don't know.
No, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
But he's in the UFC and he can fucking fight.
And let's have a look at Rozenstruik, because he is impressive. Like, he's just like, his stats are just so impressive. So he's 11-1 in the UFC, and his losses obviously to Ngannou. But it's like what I was saying to you the other day. I think I was saying it to you the other day. He got knocked out in 20 seconds. But
That was chaos, that knockout, by the way. That knockout was chaos.
Like, it was like someone clicked a button, just like all out attack or something. It was crazy. Like,
have you seen that meme? It's so funny, yeah? So, like, a couple weeks before the fight, Mike Tyson's with Ngannou, like, showing him some, like, slip boxing stuff. Yeah. And it's like Mike Tyson shows Ngannou how to accurately slip and counter strike. It's like Ngannou, there's literally a photo of him like this.
It's so funny he said that. I watched a clip, like, yesterday or the day before, and it's such slick boxing, and he's like showing how to get him on the inside, and he's like hitting his body shots and whatnot.
Angle,
and then he's just, and you know, like what Mike Tyson's like, and he's just pivoting and hitting the angle.
He loves to demo.
And then literally it cuts to like windmills just being thrown. But it's what I was saying is, going back to the original point I was making, is if you've got a 1 on your loss column, right, and it's in Ngannou knockout, like,
don't lose sleep over that. Don't lose sleep over that.
That's what I was saying. Like, it doesn't, as stupid as it sounds, it doesn't hold a lot of weight. If you see a man with that, you look at that and you think, you're human. You know what I mean? Like, you got caught by a non-human person. Punching at a power that's going to take...
The predator.
Yeah, like, it's absolutely fair enough. But
the predator.
Right, yeah, so he's 11-1 in UFC. Go on. Say again.
I love Rozenstruik's fight name, Biggie Boy.
Yeah, it's sick, isn't it?
I love it.
It just fits him so well, isn't it? Like, you look at
the Biggie Boy. Biggie Boy.
So he's lost, apart from his loss to Ngannou, which was one fight ago, his last 3 wins are over JDS, over him, and Arlovski. So he's got some big names in there as well.
Yeah, good wins. They're good wins.
Very good wins at heavyweight.
The over him fight was weird though.
Yeah, it was.
He was losing, I believe, and then he just drops him like the last second, and then over him was fight. But like, he won the fight.
So this is
over him contested it, but he always does. His
lip. Ooh.
Yeah, that was bad. That looked like he'd been shot with a shotgun in the face.
So this is what I found quite interesting though with Overeem. I mean, he went the full 5 rounds, not with Overeem, so with Rozenstruik. He went the full 5 rounds with Overeem. But in his last 11 fights, right, excluding the Ngannou loss, he's had 7 first-round finishes. 7. Out of his last 11 fights, had 7 first-round finishes. So...
Is this Rozenstruik, sorry?
This is Rozenstruik, yeah. So in his last 11 fights in the UFC, he's had 7 first-round finishes. So even though he went the distance with Overeem, I feel like if he didn't have that, people may have put question marks over his gas tank a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
he's answered that.
Exactly. So, with a very accomplished fighter as well in Overeem, and he's gone the full 5 rounds.
Yeah.
With I'd say questionable. It's not questionable. Fucking explosive.
That experience that Overeem has is invaluable. Pacing yourself, knowing when to push, knowing when he's hurt, knowing how to recover. Like, he's so experienced. It's actually ridiculous.
He's seen there and done it all.
The fact that he's still fighting at the top level is scandalous. Like, he's been doing it for years.
Do you think he's going to stick about?
Well, he said before his last fight, right, he said that he wants one more run at the title, and then he got beat pretty handedly. So I reckon he'll call it a day. Yeah. I don't think he'll go Bellator. I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll just call it a day.
That was going to be my next question. Do you reckon he'll drop down into there?
No, I don't reckon he will. No.
He's old now, and he's like...
Yeah, he's getting on.
He's taken some beatings, like surely you got
and he's dished them out as well, but you know,
of course.
They add up at that level and that size, that intensity, especially through the era that he came through, where like everybody was on shit, he was on shit, and they're just genetically engineered to inflict as much damage as possible to each other, and that's exactly what they did.
He is a killer, but his last fight against Volkov is like what we were just saying. He didn't look like he offered anything at all. I think he just sort of looked like he was waiting for the loss. It was a bit weird. But yeah, just to touch upon Rozenstruik's kickboxing career.
Let's go.
I know you'll like this. Crazy. The experience, man. They're the same age. Well, they're not the same age. Rozenstruik's 32 and Gane's 30. But the experience, 85 fights, 76 wins, 64 knockouts, 8 losses and a draw. And he was only knocked out once in 85 fights at heavyweight.
That's mad. That is mad. Yeah, so this is the thing, right? So how is he going to come back from that Francis knockout? Like, if he's only been stopped once, we don't know if that's a TKO, but he was...
Maybe twice. But it was once or twice, either way.
Yeah,
it weren't a lot.
But like, that was a violent knockout against Francis. Like all right, it wasn't the most technical, but he was out, like out, you know. And Francis does that to people. So how's he going to bounce back from that? You never know.
It's a good point because you can never call it. Do you know what I mean? You can never call it. But the only thing I just think is, I feel like if you're a heavyweight, you go into every fight somewhat in the back of your mind with that happening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those
like
aggressive.
it's very much an option.
Yeah, I think no matter how confident you are for the fight, no matter who you are, no matter who you're fighting, I think when you're at that division, I think you're always in the back of your mind, you're thinking it could get violent. It could get violent quick. Do you know what I mean? So
with these guys have been like dropped, knocked out in training, you know, like it does happen. It's not uncommon. But the beautiful thing is we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how it's all gonna unplay.
So let's have just as a slight recap then, and then we'll finish it with our predictions for Saturday. Who to put your money on?
Go.
I want you to tell me how you see it playing out, and then who you would back. That's what I want from you.
Okay. So it's tough, right? Because it is very much a 50-50 fight. Like, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Like, this one's not going the distance.
No.
I really strongly believe that. I'm going to go out on a bit of a weird prediction, right? And I'm going to say that Gane late adds to his submission tally. I'm going to go out on a whim there. And for anyone watching this will be a common joke from this because I always get it fucking wrong. So if you're a betting man, bet against what I say. I am knowledgeable. I do enjoy the sport. I study the sport, but my predictions are just off constantly.
It is hard to, like, no matter who you are, no matter what level you are, the amount of things I watch, predictions are bloody hard. But so you reckon a late stoppage?
Yeah, I reckon submission.
I'm not going to press you to what form of submission. Well, go on. You got to give one, actually.
Well, it's like in MMA, right? I know he's got some heel hooks. I don't think you're getting that on Biggie Boy.
No.
It's like if I had to bet, it would be some form of guillotine / arm triangle that he's already got. They're the main ones you see, right? I can't see
a guillotine.
Biggie Boy. I can't see him shooting. That's usually where you find a lot of submissions, but I can see a scramble. Maybe he gets an arm triangle.
He's had 0 takedown attempts in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to shoot his shot anytime
soon. We got a kickboxing fight in MMA gloves.
But basically, is basically what that is. He's got no takedowns. His takedown defense is actually not too bad. His takedown defense percentage is not too bad.
Yeah.
But he scrambles well. So it's interesting, like the way. So that's you. You reckon Gane late submission?
Yeah, Gane with it. Lay my nuts on the line. Let's go.
UFC is one of them things that when you predict it, the only way that you can predict it, I think, is if all plays out as it should. So if Rozenstruik plays his best game and Gane plays his best game, who then wins? But obviously, it never goes like that. What I see is, I can't look past Rozenstruik's experience. I can't look past his stoppages. I cannot look past the amount of knockouts he has, the amount of first round finishes he has. But saying that, in Gane's last couple of fights I've just been watching, he's very evasive, he's very clever, he's very in and out, he's so light on his feet, he's almost got like a karate style on his feet.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Do you know what I mean? He's so quick at heavyweight, arms down, quick head movement. I just think if he's at his best, I think he evades the power. I don't think he trades in the pocket. I think that's stupid. I think he stays on the outside and I think he picks him apart from there. I think he goes for the legs and then maybe...
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some calf kicks. We haven't seen them in any MMA fights recently.
Which is funny because...
So effective.
You know I love a kick, like, more than anything. And often I'm annoyed when there is no kicks. And now that this is coming into fashion, are thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to say... I'm gonna. You made a bit of a strong one. I'm gonna say.
Let's go bold. Let's get bold.
I can't see that going 5 rounds. I want to say
no.
If it was 3 rounds, I would have it at a Gane decision. I would.
The fact that it's 5 just tells me that.
I think 5 rounds. I think Rozenstruik takes it. everything is telling me the other way, but I'm just gonna say it. I think Rozenstruik takes it in the 4th or even the 5th potentially.
Late,
yeah, I think he takes it late, not that early. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for a knockout in the 4th. I want to say the up and comer. I want to see the new blood. Like, he's looking exciting, he's looking good, but like I just can't look past that. I've got it all here, and I just can't look past his fucking staring at 85.
Stats
fights.
don't lie. Stats do not lie.
64 knockouts. Like, I know it's a different sport technically, but
yeah,
that's
knockouts and knockouts though. He's knocked out 64 other men.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, the beautiful thing is we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. It's all well and good on paper, but as we know, it's not on paper. It's in the octagon, which is some real shit.
Right. I think that pretty much wraps us up for everything. Anything else to add?
No, we'll be doing somewhat of a recap on Sunday, Monday perhaps. We will definitely be recapping. Thanks for listening and tune in for more.
Yeah, just to top it off as one last word. Everything we're just getting up and running at the moment, our Instagram page, our YouTube channel, and our TikTok. So when they're all the handles are made and finalized, then obviously we'll send it out and put in the description. But anything you want to see, any ideas, anything at all, then just drop it either to us in a message or in the comments. And yeah, I think we just sort of want to develop somewhat of a little community.
Yeah.
Where there's as much engagement as possible. Put fights out there, share your ideas, share your predictions, and just get a lot of conversation going, really. I think that's what we're going to try and get started up, aren't we? So,
we love the conversation and we want people in on it. So
100%. I think that's everything. So thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Casuals Corner. I was going to say I've been Will, you've been Frank.
We have been, to be fair. We have been each other. We have been ourselves. So
lost the plot. All right, cool. Peace. Thanks for
listening.
watching. Sweet.